AEI New Energy Trading Private Limited that works with Indian energy producing firms. While the US-based company will utilize the energy to power its own operations, there's a chance it may also power your home. The largest corporate consumer of clean energy in the world holds a Category 3 trade license in India. The American company has contracted with private firms to supply it with 720 megawatts of power. Amazon will use this electricity to power its warehouses, cloud services centers, web centers, other operations, and to our homes through local electricity service providers. But why is this billion-dollar behemoth attempting to enter the electricity market when its primary business is thriving? The answer is to target of becoming a carbon-neutral firm by 2040. This would also assist India in achieving its carbon-neutral goal, which was set for 2070. By 2047, the nation also aims to revolutionize power generation through the development of green energy and enhance job growth. So soon, it could be a possibility that our Amazon OTT box is powered by Amazon itself.
Membership 1, खुशियां अनेक.
Bureau Report, Business Today Television.
I don't read the news. I read between the lines to tell you the true version of events, the true story of our times.
To document grief, the toughest assignment for any journalist to be.
From those who matter,
women politicians going to stick up for each other.
Of those who should matter, I document the truth. I don't distort the truth. I don't glamorize the truth. I don't gloss over the truth.
The ghosts of India's contentious medieval history have come knocking again.
I hustle for the truth, on the ground, in the newsroom, in the studio. I don't try to grab eyeballs.
I inform you to make you see the point.
To the Point with Preeti Choudhry. At these times, only on India Today.
Co-powered by RK Marble, Khoobsurat Imandari. In association with JioMart, Har Ghar Ka Mart. Driven by, at Hyundai we are going beyond mobility.
Good evening, viewers. You're watching To The Point. I'm Preeti Choudhry. The countdown to what could be one of the big elections this year has begun. The ruling Bharatiya Janata Party and the Congress are right in the thick of things with the campaign, including, of course, the JDS. Slated to enter into a heated battle for Karnataka with the assembly elections coming up in just the next 4 months. As both parties prepare for battle, polarizing incidents have begun peaking in the poll-bound state. BJP MP Nalin Katil recently stoked a big row by stating the state's focus should be on love jihad and not civic issues like road and sewage. While Hindu group Bajrang Dal have now set up an Love Jihad helpline to protect Hindu women. Not just that, the BJP is also eyeing another Ram Mandir, but this time in Karnataka's Ramanagara. Now, this begs the question if polarization is the tone for the Karnataka elections, or at least where the Bharatiya Janata Party is concerned, the main poll planks subaltern Hindutva. Meanwhile, the Karnataka, like we pointed out, the state heading to polls, the higher education minister as well. There have been a number of leaders upping the ante when it comes down to the Hindutva poll pitch, and doing just the same was Ashwath Narayan, mulling on the construction of a Ram Mandir in the state, similar to the one in Ayodhya. The government plans to table the plan in the next state budget. Meanwhile, opposition, all guns blazing at the Saffron Party, accusing to trying and wooing Hindu votes. Here's more.
Ahead of the 2023 Assembly elections, state of war Karnataka intensifies. Eyeing the Hindu vote bank, the BJP is planning to build a Ram Mandir in the state on the lines of Ayodhya temple in Ramnagara. The Basavaraj Bommai government will announce the temple construction on budget day. The state higher education minister, Ashwath Narayan, also claimed Uttar Pradesh chief minister will lay foundation stone for the temple.
ನಮ್ಮ ರಾಮನಗರ ನಾಮಕರಣ ಆಗಿರೋದು ರಾಮನ ಹೆಸರಿನಲ್ಲೇ. ಮಾಜಿ ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳಾದಂಥ ಕೆಂಗಲ್ ಹನುಮಂತಯ್ಯನವರು ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ಪೇಟೆ ಅಂತ ನಾಮಕರಣ ಇದ್ದಂಥ ಹೆಸರು ಜಿಲ್ಲೆಗೆ ರಾಮನಗರ ಅಂತ ನಾಮಕರಣವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿ ರಾಮನ ಪ್ರೇರೇಪಣೆ, ರಾಮ ವನವಾಸದಲ್ಲಿ ವಾಸ ಮಾಡಿದಂಥ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಥಳ ರಾಮದೇವರ ಬೆಟ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿರುವಂಥ ರಾಮನ ದೇವಸ್ಥಾನ ಮತ್ತು ಶಿವನ ದೇವಸ್ಥಾನ ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣವಾಗಿ ಜೀರ್ಣೋದ್ಧಾರ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿಯನ್ನು ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇವತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣವಾಗಿ ಬದ್ಧರಾಗಿದ್ದೀವಿ.
The government is planning to redevelop this temple in Ramnagara, about 45-minute drive from Bengaluru.
So we just climbed around 500 flights of stairs, and the view, I must tell you, was breathtaking. And this is what we came up to. As you can see, this is the temple here, the Ram Mandir. The officials here, they want to call this as the Dakshina Ayodhya. They want to replicate the model that we've seen in Ayodhya Ram Mandir there. They want to do the same thing here. So for people who can't really go up north, the South Indians here, they can come here and visit the Ram Mandir here in Ramnagar.
This is an old Ram temple. It is believed Lord Ram, Sita and Lakshman stayed here during their exile. Devotees climb 500 steps to get a glimpse of Lord Ram.
ಮತ್ತು ಈ ಜಾಗ ಬಂದು ರಾಮದೇವರು ವನವಾಸ ಮಾಡಿರುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ಜಾಗ. ಒಂದು 4 ರಿಂದ 5 ವರ್ಷ ಈ ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ವನವಾಸ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಐತಿಹ್ಯ ಇದೆ. ಮತ್ತು ದೇವಸ್ಥಾನದ ಮುಂಭಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಕಲ್ಯಾಣಿ ಇದೆ, ಅದು ಬಂದು ರಾಮತೀರ್ಥ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಅಂದರೆ ಅವರು ವನವಾಸದಲ್ಲಿರಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಸೀತಾಮಾತೆಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲೂ ನೀರು ಸಿಗದೇ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ರಾಮದೇವರು ಬಾಣ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನೀರು ಬರ್ಸಿದ್ರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಮತ್ತು ಅದು ಆಳ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಇದುವರೆಗೂ ಯಾರು ನೋಡಿಲ್ಲ, ತುಂಬ ಆಳ ಇದೆ. ಮತ್ತು ಎಷ್ಟೇ ವರ್ಷ ಮಳೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೂ ನೀರು ಬತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ನೀರಿದ್ದೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ.
The master plan also entails special pathway for those with physical disability. Marble stairs and dome will also be constructed. Meanwhile, politics explode over the planned Ram temple. The opposition has hit out, accusing the state government of trying to divert focus from development issues.
ಅಯೋಧ್ಯ ಕರ್ಕೊಬಂದು ನಿರ್ಮಾಣ ಮಾಡಲಿ, ರಾಮ ಮಂದಿರನೂ ಕಟ್ಟಲಿ, ಸೀತಾ ಮಂದಿರನೂ ಕಟ್ಟಲಿ, ಆಂಜನೇಯನೂ ಕಟ್ಟಲಿ, ಅಶ್ವತ್ಥನಾರಾಯಣ ದೇವಸ್ಥಾನನೂ ಕಟ್ಟಲಿ. ನಮ್ದೇನು ತಗರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಈಗ 3 ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ಪಾಪ ಬಂದು ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಆಗಿ ಕ್ಲೀನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. ಈಗ ಕ್ಲೀನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇಡೀ ರಾಮನಗರ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಕ್ಲೀನ್ ಆಗಿದೆ 3 ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ. ದೇವಸ್ಥಾನ ಕಟ್ಟಲಿ, ನಮ್ಮ ಕೈಲಾದ ಸಹಕಾರ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ.
The JDS too has rejected the proposal for the temple. The constituency is represented by HD Kumaraswamy.
ರಾಮ ಮಂದಿರ ಕಟ್ಟಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದಿದ್ರೆ ನಾನೇ ನಿಂತು ಖುದ್ದು ಉತ್ತರ ಪ್ರದೇಶದ ಯೋಗಿ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಬಂದು ಹಾಕ್ಸೋದಲ್ಲ ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿನ. ನಮ್ಮ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಒಕ್ಕಲಿಗರ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಕನಕಪೀಠದ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ನಮ್ಮ ಸುತ್ತೂರು ಮಠದ ಸ್ವಾಮಿಗಳಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಅವರ ನೇತೃತ್ವದಲ್ಲೇ ಕರೆಸಿ ರಾಮ ಮಂದಿರ ಕಟ್ಟಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕಟ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸವಾಲನ್ನ ಸ್ವೀಕಾರ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ.
As BJP once again raises Hindutva pitch in the state, it seems the party is literally fighting the elections Ram Bharose. Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, viewers, the sweet symphony behind that story, with all political parties concurring and saying we'll build the Ram Mandir together. Well, on ground, it's not as easy, as simple. It's highly and deeply political. I want to cut across right now to our guest this evening. Joining me is T.M. Veera Raghav. He's a senior journalist. I have S. Prakash, spokesperson, Karnataka Bharatiya Janata Party. Lavanya Balal, spokesperson, Karnataka Congress. Mr. Veera Raghav, I want to begin with you. Maybe set the premise for elections that we're going to see in the state of Karnataka in the last 4 months. You know, as our research team was going through the number of elements that have cropped up in the last 6 months, it's mind-boggling. You know, you have everything on the table, from love jihad to Ram Mandir to halal meat to hijab, name it. It's all there. Is this going to be the premise?
Well, they have been trying to create that, try and use Hindutva to perhaps countenance anti-incumbency and internal issues within the party. It did worry the opposition at one point of time, but I think there are two major problems that the BJP really faces. One, it doesn't have a leader who is sort of a symbol of Hindutva, someone like a Yogi Adityanath in Uttar Pradesh, who's got a strong caste base, plus is considered an aggressive face of Hindutva. They don't have a leader of that nature to lead the campaign. In the absence of such a leader, the bickering and the making of statements doesn't really translate into some kind of an emotive movement. Number one. Number two, they don't have an emotive issue of the nature that could actually help galvanize around Hindutva. Having said that, yes, it may have limited impact in certain areas where the BJP is already strong. But I think you need to look at this very carefully, that this Ram Mandir and this effort seems to be an effort to break into the old Mysore region as well for the BJP. At the moment, the grassroots reality would seem that the old traditional divides and grassroots divides of Lingayat, Vakkaliga, caste politics of Karnataka and grassroots issues are far stronger than what Hindutva could help the BJP with.
Mr. Veera Raghav, do you see an audience which is, say, maybe similar to what we see in the Hindi heartland when we come down to Hindutva? Is there a ready audience, or is there pockets of it like you were pointing out right now?
Look, to try and hope for the BJP to hope that Karnataka could follow the UP model doesn't really work. I think the grassroots divides are still very strong. And as I mentioned to you, the two clear reasons are, one, you don't have a leader who can actually galvanize around Hindutva. It's not just about issues. It's also about that kind of a personality at the helm who can be projected. Now, at the moment, you're projecting Basavaraj Bommai, who's soft. I mean, who doesn't have a history of Hindutva or doesn't really appeal to that audience, A. B, yes, Dakshin Kannada regions in North Karnataka, there are places where Hindutva has helped. For instance, Coorg, in perhaps even in other parts like Chikmagalur, some of those areas, Hindutva has helped the BJP, sort of build itself. But it still is not strong enough to take the party from where it is to somewhere extraordinarily high in terms of number of seats. So it's an experiment, but it lacks that kind of strength that the BJP would hope for.
Mr. S. Prakash, let me just quote a cliche which we use very often and a much abused term in political debates. When all else fails, the BJP turns to God. And why I say that is, it's not just the BJP president, Mr. Kumar, who's gone ahead and said that focus on love jihad rather than roads or sewage. You have a C.T. Ravi who's gone ahead and said that this election for the BJP, the poll plank is Hindutva. And these are all official, bona fide statements, sir.
No, in any election, it is not just one issue will be raised. Several issues come into the front, and party always speak about it. It doesn't mean that is the main agenda of any political party. No election can be won on single agenda. In the previous assembly polls, Siddaramaiah tried language issue and dividing the Lingayats and trying to harvest the votes. Did he succeed? He failed miserably. Congress party lost election and they were reduced to 60 seats from 130 or 35. So this imagination that only we look at the gods and Hindutva, love jihad, it is only a misconception.
But it's not a misconception, Mr. Prakash. Why I'll say that? Why
I'll say? So
I'll tell you why it's not a misconception. Because if it was a misconception, the tallest of your leaders wouldn't be going to town underlining that same misconception. It's rather inception. Because let's look at the kind of language it has been used. C.T. Ravi 2 days back made it very clear when he was asked by journalists. Simple, plain question was, what is going to be the BJP's poll plank in this election? He said Hindutva. Your own party president says love jihad is... Sir, you tell me. Is love jihad bigger than roads and sewage? Yes or no? I'll ask you a question.
Let me explain. In Kanakpura, Mr. D.K. Shivakumar allowed and built on Jesus Christ statue in his constituency. Does it mean they are fighting on the issue of Jesus in the coming assembly poll? It is not so. These are issues are raised time and again, and when the elections are around the corner, even a smaller issue get blown out of proportion.
Mr. Prakash, I'll bring in Mr. Balal. Because that's a Miss Balal, that's a question that the Congress needs to answer, but I am very clear, I'm very happy at least that you've somewhere down the line admitted a lot of statements are made, when an election campaign heats up, or a jumla, lots of those are offered at this point of time, and maybe with what Mr. C.T. Ravi or Mr. Kumar said could be a part of those jumlas or the promises that are made, which one really doesn't need to pay heed to. But Lavanya Balal, the Congress is equally guilty, no? Where do you stand on the Ram Mandir? You have Mr. D.K. Shivakumar who says very clearly that we want the Ram Mandir, we will help build it. The analogy or the example rather which was made by Mr. S. Prakash of the Jesus Christ statue, you do pander to every communal ballpoint figure in the book this election as well. You've done it.
Hi, good evening. Mr. D.K. Shivkumar, RPCC President, was in fact saying if BJP is planning to build a mandir, we have no objections. We will participate in the building of the mandir. We have no objections to it. Every time the BJP and the media expects Congress to say no to temples, that is not what we do. And also, Mr. Nalin Kumar Katil, who is also, and Mr. C.T. Ravi's statements are not very surprising because BJP leaders have always made inflammatory statements like this.
But Ms. Balal, I have already detailed extensively those statements. So I'm asking you.
Let me please finish.
Go ahead.
Let me please finish. Mr. Nalin Kumar Katil, who is my MP from my home district, had earlier made a comment that he will burn down the district if unruly BJP workers are arrested by the police for their misbehavior. Now, this clearly shows that the BJP is not confident of winning the election only on the basis of performance in the state. It also contradicts CM Bommai's statement that he had made a few months ago that the BJP in Karnataka will face elections on development issues. Now, Mr. Nalin Kumar Katil is contradicting that statement. And also, there is a disquiet within the BJP party, and a lot of senior leaders are saying that they are not looking at Mr. Bommai to lead the party towards elections, but they're looking at a non-CM face to lead the BJP party towards elections. And the 32.6% people who voted for BJP in 2018, let me be very clear, not all of them believe in the state agenda. A lot of them live their life and believe in the constitution and the personal rights that is accorded to them by the constitution. And Mr. Nalin Kumar Katil's statement is an infringement of a human being's fundamental rights in India.
Okay. You still haven't answered, Ms. Balal, what I, began to ask you, but that's fine, I guess. Sir. Well, sir, it doesn't matter. It cuts both ways. But, Mr. Veera Raghav, I'll bring you in again. And the question I want to ask you is, in a state where elections are deeply entrenched in caste politics, you've seen that in, a lot of North Indian states as well. Do you think a highly communally divisive, polarizing campaign could cut the caste politics of Karnataka?
Well, at the moment, you don't have that kind of emotive campaign that's been created. They're trying to drum up that kind of a campaign, as you rightly pointed out. And as the opposition has it, at some level, one needs to accept that to counter anti-incumbency and to counter, issues of corruption and governance, this is an easy sort of route to take. But let's not forget here, Preeti, that the names of the leaders that you're mentioning, whether it is a C.T. Ravi, whether it is a Tejasvi Surya, whether it is an Anant Kumar Hegde, you've always had these hardline, rabid Hindutva leaders in the BJP in Karnataka. It's not new. The kind of statements they're making is really not new. Whether it's the Baba Budangari issue, whether it is the Hubli Idgah Maidan issue, they have tried over the years, and I'm talking back from the 90s, post-Ayodhya, they've tried to build Hindutva in Karnataka and they've failed. The lesson was learned that you need that Lingayat caste base. And I think at the moment, Karnataka still remains firmly on those caste arithmetics, unless we are proven wrong in the next election. And I think the fundamental effort for the BJP right now is to move from a party which can come to becoming the single largest party with about 100 odd seats, to actually becoming a party which has never in history, has it ever crossed the halfway mark on its own without defections from the other side. So the effort is, can they build a base at that level? And they are hoping that it's only Hindutva that can take them from where they are to where they want to be. But at the moment,
and I want to bring in both our panelists as well. But Mr. Veera Raghav, I'll ask you a quick question. Do you see in the days to come right now, possibly the issue or the issues concerning subaltern regionalism? We've seen the border dispute already playing out in a huge way, being picked up by the Congress maybe to to face off against the Hindutva pitch?
I think I don't think the Congress is going to go that route. I think the Congress is going to focus on corruption and anti-incumbency core. But yes, in certain regional pockets, in let's say a Belgavi, which is a BJP stronghold, the Congress may use that border issue. In let's say Mysore, in old Mysore region, where the BJP is trying to use Hindutva to break through the caste divide. You see, the only reason the BJP has not been able to break into old Mysore region is the caste politics of that region. So there will be an effort to do that, and there will be a countenance from the Congress to solidify, for instance, the Lingayat reservation issues. There are so many different issues which are going to come up. It would be interesting to watch, but my feeling is that Hindutva still will remain relegated to those firm pockets which are already in the BJP's
So, Mr. Prakash, there I'll ask you my question, because when the Hindutva pitch has been raised in states like Uttar Pradesh, when it's raised in states like Gujarat, I'll give you both examples, there was a mix of a cocktail of issues. Hindutva, yes, a big poll plank, but it was engineered with last mile delivery when it came down to Uttar Pradesh even, and you had somebody like Narendra Modi when you came down in Gujarat. You can't quite go the long haul with just Hindutva, because you're facing charges of corruption. That wasn't the case, say, in other states where maybe you'd want to follow the example of, like, say, UP or Gujarat.
No, I have already said it is not the Hindutva agenda we fight the election. Our agenda is development. We are in ruling in Karnataka and also at the center. We want to highlight the achievement and whatever the projects we have brought into the Karnataka to make the life easier. I tell you, in 2018, we won 103 seats. Did we won on the Hindutva seat? We won on the our developmental agenda. And even in 2009, we won about 110 seats. Even then, the Hindutva was not there as an agenda. And similarly, even to 2023, our focus will be on the governance, good governance. People have seen our governance in Karnataka and central government. That is what we are going to appeal for it. And you look at the language Congress leaders are using against the Chief Minister, calling him in most abusive language. Why are they doing so? It is because they are desperate. They are unable to set the agenda to when they go to the people.
Lavanya Balal, as most political analysts will say, for the Congress, the biggest challenge will be also not to fall into the BJP's trap, especially when it comes down to, maybe the poll pitch of Hindutva. You've managed to sidestep it, even though you have a leadership challenge within your own unit, at least till now.
Yeah, well, we do not have a leadership challenge. It is perceived as a leadership challenge. We are very clear as to how we are going to face the elections and what are the
Who's your chief ministerial face
that we are going to bring up in terms of our manifesto points.
Ms. Lavanya Balal, who's the CM face for the Congress?
Oh, we have multiple CM faces. The question is, who is the CM face for BJP? Is it going to be Mr. Bomai? Absolutely not.
Madam, every question I ask you, you turn around and you ask the BJP.
No.
I think she should focus on the Chief Minister in their own party. It is a decade
from Congress, and it is the High Command which will decide, and the committee that will decide who is going to be the CM for Karnataka if Congress comes to power. Whereas BJP does not have even a single backward or a...
Gentlemen and Ms. Balal, I'm terribly out of time. I thank all three of you for joining us, but trust India Today, at least, that in the days to come you find yourselves on the channel a fair number of times, because Well, the poll Nataka in Karnataka is only going to heat up multiple issues. Today we were discussing the poll pitch of Hindutva. It seems right now that the BJP going very, very strong with it, where Karnataka comes into question. A quick break. On the other side is going to be Rahul Kanwar.
This is a Pune landmark. India's first school for women, set up by Savitribai Phule, a feminist icon known as the mother of education. 175 years after she set up the school, the building is now in shambles.
Here you can see the condition of the place is in dilapidated state. Anywhere, anytime, this Vada, which is already in crumbling state, might collapse. Some part of the Vada has already collapsed. Now here you can see the remains of the Vada.
Despite being designed as a heritage place in Pune city, the school lies in an abandoned state.
किसी भी परियोजना के लिए जो जमीन लगती है या जो भी संसाधन लगता है उसकी कीमत तो सरकार को देनी ही पड़ेगी और हमारा ये कहना है कि यहाँ के जो लोग हैं जो यहाँ पे एस्टेब्लिश्ड है उनके कोई अधिकार हम छीनना नहीं चाहते ना सरकार छीने अगर छीनती है तो हम उनके साथ खड़े रहेंगे
For the last 22 years, several organizations have protested against builders eyeing the historical site.
30 जनवरी तक यहाँ पे ज्येष्ठ नेता हमारे जो नेता है बाबा अड़ाऊ जी ने कहा है कि अगर ये राष्ट्रीय स्मारक डिक्लेयर करके काम नहीं शुरू होता है तो महाराष्ट्र के पूरे जन चौड़वन में काम करने वाले आंदोलनकारी सब एक साथ आके बहुत बड़ा आंदोलन हम लोग खड़ा करेंगे.
But despite repeated protests and long-drawn court hearings, any action to restore the first school ever for women in India is still pending.
People who are agitating, they have given an ultimatum that if the state government has announced and shown a will that this historic place will be converted into a monument, national monument, then efforts should be made. Else, from 31st of January, another agitation will take place. With Cameron Gopal Harne, this is Pankaj Khelkar in Pune for India Today.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.